about how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear from Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked?
I do think that works, Mr. Nathan Hanson, Mr. Brett Hadley. Sean will be appearing shortly, but we're going to get this part and start making some introductions. How does that sound?
Let's go.
Let's do it. First, coming from, as we heard earlier, Maui, Hawaii, 18 years building a thriving financial firm, now supporting over 300 advisors, 50 staff across 10 states, serving small business owners and individuals, building wealth, protecting assets, and exit planning, while doubling the size of his team, dedicated father of 7, passionate mentor, coaching advisors, creating a ripple effect of transformation for clients, communities, and future generations. Let's welcome to the show, Teo Stiller. And Teo, as we said in the green room, we get to share a fun fact. This could be something that you're proud of, something cool that you've done, but Teo, something that would make us go, Teo, no way. So Teo, what is your fun fact that you are kicking us off with today?
So aside from the fact that I have 7 kids, among them are a set of triplets, and we take pride in living life to the fullest. I help clients enjoy life to the fullest, and that's what we do for our families. We've just came back from the national parks in Utah, all 5 of them. Wow. We probably have amassed a ton of miles on planes and in a transit. So wow. we love sharing all of the amazing things in the world with our family.
That is extraordinary. Now, where do you and wife and 7 kids sit on a plane? How do you divide and conquer 7 children on an airplane?
I have a picture. I have a picture going to Banff or Calgary, and we were from one window seat all the way across to the other window seat. But what we do prefer is kind of being in 3 different rows, all on the same side of the plane. It's easier that way.
Wow, that is cool. And then Teo, just out of curiosity, when you guys at the moment you found out you were having triplets, where in the succession did the triplets come?
Second. And so we didn't stop. We kept going.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, congratulations. Sounds like you are a family man for sure, and living life to the fullest. And living life to the fullest, Teo, are you ready to live life to the fullest in the heart of influence and have the most amount of fun possible?
100%.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Next up, not quite Maui, Hawaii, but Dallas, Texas, could be comparable or not. Motivated by intense service in the army to heal invisible wounds of war, earned a PhD in bioengineering and developed cutting-edge treatments using neuroimaging and TMS to eradicate mental illness. Thank you for your service. Psychiatric professional and executive director for a nonprofit making TMS therapy accessible to decorated families, undeserved communities, and single mothers battling postpartum depression. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Russell Toll.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Russell, as a daughter of a veteran who happens to be sitting in my father's very decorated office, although you cannot see it with the background, but thank you for what it is that you do. My father served in 2 terms in Vietnam and 1 in Desert Storm, and it definitely has some struggles. So thank you so much for what it is that you do. And Dr. Russell, what is your fun fact? And do you prefer Dr. Russell, Dr. Toll? What do you prefer we call you?
Mama named me Russ. So that's what I go by.
Russ, okay, you got it, Russ. No problem. And what is your fun fact, Russ?
Well, in that vein of being a veteran, I think I'm one of few people alive who can say they've been in a firefight in their underwear.
In your underwear? Okay, so I gotta know more to the story. What's the byline?
So the byline is, we're living in the tank for several days, and you got to take a shower every so often. So I was in the process of getting ready for said shower when I was rudely interrupted by Al Qaeda, and then we had to go to work immediately. So in flip-flops and boxer shorts, we engaged and destroyed the enemies of the United States.
Wow, that is an insane story. Russ, thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you so much for your service as well. And you're good. You're gonna get to keep all your clothes on for this.
No promises.
Have some fun. That is awesome. All right, next, Roland from Minneapolis, Minnesota, practicing for 3 years, a partner in a law firm specializing in personal injury and wrongful death, a mentor for law students, and takes pro bono cases even if they don't fall under his area of expertise. Originally planning to practice for the government, now an entrepreneur building out his firm with seasoned partners, developing relationships and partnerships, learning what it takes to grow and scale the impact he can and all that he can do. Let's welcome to the show, Zach Dorff. Zach, hello. Welcome to the Heart of Influence. I don't know if you've been in any strange situations in your underwear, but how about your fun fact for today?
I can't say that one. I really 2 quick ones, just because one is relevant. I'm a broomball player, which I don't think many other places have. It's like hockey, but without skates. It's with a ball. It's a weird sport. It's a great sport. Check it out. And then the other one, because it just happened yesterday, I have 2 daughters.
I'm shocked that you can get that there's a sport that has the word broom in it.
Yeah, broomball.
That's really a way to get gentlemen to pick up a broom. Is just put a sport
right.
in it. I love it.
The domestic way. And then my other is that my youngest daughter just had her first step yesterday. So that was made my week. So I had to share it. Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations to your daughter and her first step. That is beautiful. And Zach, are you ready to have some fun?
I'm ready to have a great time. It's gonna be good.
Let's do it. Next up, from Lake Elmo, Minnesota, principal and CEO of an aerospace medicine and cardiovascular surgery center, former VP of Medical Affairs and Safety Chief Officer at 3M Healthcare, deep expertise in MedTech innovation, diplomat for the American Board of Thoracic Surgery, and a fellow multiple prestigious medical organization, pioneering research in cardiac xenotransplantation. I think I said that correctly. And a psychological adaptation. Let's welcome to the show, Dr. Matthew Cooper. And did I get that correct? Xenotransplantation?
Right, that's transplantation across species, and it's a physiologic adaptation. We're looking at how we take people with abnormal physiology and make it safe for them to fly and to go to space.
Wow, that is, and just how did you get, like, if you could give a quick headline of how you got into that particular very narrow field, what would be your headline to that?
Well, as a congenital heart surgeon for many years, I have a deep understanding of cardiac physiology. As a consultant to the Federal Air Surgeon, it was a natural extension of that and the fact that I'm an aerobatic and formation airshow pilot. So it brings all of those things together.
Brings all of those together. Absolutely tremendous. And how do you prefer we refer to you? Dr. Matthew, Dr. Cooper?
Anything reasonable.
Anything reasonable. Well, thank you, Dr. Matthew. Dr. Matthew, how about your fun fact?
My extended family includes 45 parrots. And
Parents or parents?
no, not that many parrots. You know, the wing kind. So, you know, most people realize that there are rescue infrastructure for dogs and cats. But what happens to people who adopt exotic birds and can't take care of them or don't? We take them in and they stay with us for life. And so it's our way of contributing to sustainability of the earth.
Wow. And you said you had how many?
We have 45 right now.
45. And do they have like their own sanctuary, or if you like go walk out that
Well,
door?
They have most of the house. And to give you an idea what it's like, their cognitive level is at the level of primates, but emotionally they're about a 4-year-old human, and most of them speak. So imagine all those little kids running around.
Oh my goodness, that sounds.
And don't they have a life expectancy of about 80 years?
At least. And in fact, Winston Churchill's blue and gold macaw passed away just recently, and he was 107.
Wow, that's crazy. So what I'm hearing, Dr. Matthew, is you have 45 4-year-olds running around your house. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, in addition to a few other things.
And then just to do a few other things. That in itself, I think, sounds scary for most people, but for you, you are a champ. It is no problem. And Dr. Matthew, or Nathan, were you about to say something? Oh, I
just love the F-16 picture on the back of Dr. Matthew's wall. I was admiring that. So
yeah, that's from Nellis Air Force Base. I flew in the air show there a few years ago.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, welcome, Dr. Matthew, to the Heart of Influence. Are you ready to have some fun?
Yes, indeed.
All right, rolling with Dr. Matthew from New York, New York, working with a 4-year-old company, a team of 4, helping veterans get loans to invest in real estate and grow wealth, creating more opportunities and bring on more investors for the company. Previously worked for big bank investing, walked away from security and a salary to live on this mission, vision, purpose. Let's welcome to the show, Philippe Anicola.
All right.
Hello, Philippe. Welcome to the Heart of Influence.
Thank you. Thank you.
And how about your fun fact, Philippe?
Yeah. So also veteran, my fun fact is tied up to my service. So on the front page of the New York Times for July 1st, 2015, which happens to be my birthday on July 1st, there's a picture of me on the streets of Kabul, Afghanistan. We were running missions. There was an ID and stuff went wrong. So actually a reporter was able to snap that picture. So I usually say that I made it to the front page of the New York Times. Not on the best circumstances, but you know, they worked out, and that's my fun fact.
That is a super fun fact. Your 10, what do they call that? What is that? That's like 10 minutes of fame or what?
Yeah. No, it is. And the funny thing is that one of the guys that I was deployed with, his grandma sent him, you know, the paper and said, "Do you know this soldier?" And he just gave me the paper. It's like, oh, wow. So I still have that paper somewhere in the office, but yeah, that's the random fun fact.
And then I imagine you probably called home to your parents and said, buy every copy of the New York Times that you can, and they have a stack of 150 of them at their house.
There's a few of them in the family, sitting somewhere in a basement.
Incredible.
Amazing.
They'll read it in the house and present.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to your show. We'll introduce my co-host in just a moment. But remember that, like those fun facts I told you at the beginning of the show, that blind guy that I out wrestled and that I learned to surf, see, and scuba dive.
Oh my God.
Yes, you might have you might have just seen him make an appearance. And next up, coming from Chicago, Illinois, 10 plus years in domestic and global supply chain leadership, specializing in procurement and logistics across industries. Proven track record of empowering teams in the medical staffing, IT, construction, aircraft production, food service, and real estate, adding value to small businesses, supporting growth with care, and cultivating long-term success built on trust and ethical practices. Let's welcome to the show, David Lamb.
David, warm welcome to Nathan and Brett's Heart of Influence. And please, David, your fun fact.
I'm a veteran as well as many of you in the room. Fun fact, I left active duty in 2018, went to grad school in 2022. And the war in Ukraine broke out, and I took 2 quarters of admin leave to go do nonprofit work out in a war zone. So I self-deployed myself, even though I left the military.
Very impressive, David. Thank you for being a stand for freedom and democracy and everything that you've done, and all the other veterans that are here today. But David, thank you for you being you, and warm welcome again.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Belvrita, please.
Yes, and part of the team that brought these individuals together today from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, 23-year veteran, not 23-year-old veteran, 23-year veteran Air Force Lieutenant Colonel who led hospital operations and managed multi-million-dollar healthcare systems. Founded an investment firm helping pilots, physicians, and families build generational wealth through business and real estate. Partnered with the #1 medical revenue recovery team in the country, recapturing millions of dollars in lost reimbursements. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. Brett Hadley.
Brett, appreciation, brother, for making this day happen. And please, on your Heart of Influence, your fun fact, Brett.
I think my fun fact is going to be that there is an individual that is a hero on this specific unblinded Heart of Influence. And I can say that because he's using his medical powers to help heal my daughter. And that is Dr. Russell Toll. So that's the top of mind, top of heart. And by the way, Teo, my daughter was born on 11/11/11.
Wow. 11/11/11. Well, thank you for that. Prayers, as always, to your daughter, Brett. And we thank you for the good doctor for doing the incredibly masterful work of supporting your daughter. And Brett, thank you. And shall we do the thing, sir?
Sir, thanks, Sean, for having me.
Thank you. Belvrita, does that bring us to?
It does bring us to the retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel and fighter pilot from Niceville, Florida, flew combat missions over 5 countries and 2 continents. An Olmsted Scholar, spending 2 years in Valencia, Spain, earning an MBA in Spanish, a pilot for Southwest Airlines, and his true passion is teaching physicians, attorneys, and financial advisors how to master their leadership and influence so they can exponentially grow their business. The one, the only, Mr. Nathan Hansen.
Mr. Nathan Hansen, much gratitude for you, brother, and please, your fun fact. Great job in assembling this group today.
Well, a fun fact relates to the one word description I would give of myself in the green room, and that was adventure. And the reason for that is I chose to go to the Air Force Academy, having no knowledge that Top Gun was not an Air Force movie, that the planes I saw on the Air Force ramp in basic training were not from Top Gun. Didn't know the difference between general and sergeant. I went for adventure because I was going to get a chance to jump out of airplanes, and I got a scholarship to do it. And at the end of my my career there as a on the parachute team, I got to actually declare myself a national champion athlete. My athletic skill was skydiving. So that is my fun fact.
That is awesome, Nathan. Love that fun fact for sure. Heroes all over this session, to be sure, and that includes you, Nathan. And thank you, Brett, and all for everything you've done to protect the freedom of our nation and allow us to just do something like this today in freedom. So thank you for that, Nathan. And shall we go do the things?
Let's do it.
All right. The amazing woman that's been doing the introducing, certainly my better half and then some. She began her career in influence as an 8-year-old on her parents' front lawn. She does lie a lot, did not beat me in wrestling, but that's a longer story for a different day. By the age of 19, she put 3 words together that do not normally go together: teenager, network marketing, and 7 figures. Yeah, I don't think a whole bunch of people are making $1 million business in network market at 19, and she's rolling with the red hair, convertibles, and houses and stuff. Yes, that's the Bella Verita. 24 years old, she then says, well, I could do this in more traditional business as well. And she three-peats like Michael Jordan, but not in basketball, instead in business brokerage as Nevada's #1 business broker. Now, this is a male-dominated industry, and as a woman, 24 years old, 25 and 26, she's three-peating as Nevada's #1 business broker, first woman ever to do it, even once, let alone to be the youngest, take this dude's, male or female person ever to be Nevada's #1 business broker. She begins to train Fortune 500 companies and entrepreneurs. In fact, in 2019, every sales team Bella Verita worked with doubled their sales. She is a scuba diver, skier, and surfer, adventurer in the most extreme of conditions. Maybe she learned that from a blind man, maybe from YouTube. I don't think it's a blind man today, so it's a good day for me. She's also a philanthropist that has raised more than $10 million, including a meaningful portion of that for heading to the Ukraine and serving in that space. A little bit more on that later in my fun fact, potentially. And she's also a 2-time, about to be 3-time published author who in 2023 publicly battled and defeated cancer. Let's welcome to Nathan and Brett's Heart of Influence, the woman in her 1700th plus episode of the show, but the heart in it, the one, the only, Bella Verita. Miss Bella Verita, please, your fun fact.
Yes, I'm going to go with the fun fact. I removed my background so you can see I'm sitting in my father's office, and I'm going to go with the fun fact that right over there is a letter from the president's office. Because when my dad was 17 years old, he wanted to go into the military so bad, and he went to the recruiter's office and they said, no, go back to school. And so my father wrote a letter to the president stating that he wanted to go fight in the war and fight for his country, and later entered into the army. So that is my fun fact on my dad's very decorated wall for today.
Thank you, Dad, as always. And honor and privilege to see him share space. And he is someone who has 2 combat tours in Vietnam, 1 combat tour in Desert Storm, who has the most incredible gratitude for his experience in the military and as well for this country. So thank you, Bella, for that. And I'm
pretty sure, I mean, you guys can answer better than I do, but I don't know that many 17-year-olds were writing to the president saying, please let me go to war. I'm not sure that was happening for anybody else. So yes. Yes, everybody's shaking their head. No, that was not anybody here. So yes, definitely honor my father. So thank you for that, Sean. And let me introduce my co-host. In fact, the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. He beats world champions like Becky at body surfing competitions. He is only one of 2 attorneys. So in 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one that's blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. In fact, the state of New Jersey actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. He has spoken on stages such as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 18 times. And when he's not busy flying around speaking on stages of Fortune 25 companies, of Fortune 50 companies, he's an incredible philanthropist that raised nearly $10 million for refugees in the Ukraine. Let's welcome my co-host, Mr. Sean Callagy.
It is truly an honor to be here with American heroes, patriots, protectors of our freedom. I don't say that in a political way. I'm not a Republican. I am not a Democrat, but I'm somebody who honors and respects this great country and all of its amazing beauty and the people who protect it and risk everything for it. So thank you for that. Fun fact, yes, I'm a blind man that's taught sighted people to ski, surf, and scuba dive. Forgive me for my tardiness. I was just leaving the wake of someone that my mother has known since she's 3 years old for 75 years, who became a decade later my father's best friend and best man in his wedding to my mom, Mr. Georgie Gehring, a Vietnam War veteran. American flag folded in his casket, and that was where I was before this occurred. And yes, he and my dad were very much like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They were about as crazy as they come, but true Americans finding their way, like living through a Bruce Springsteen song. So that is my fun fact for today, Bella Rita, and it is an honor and privilege to be here.
Well, it's an honor and a privilege to have you here, and being there for your family is a beautiful thing. So thank you.
Thank you. So Bella, what are we doing here? Oh, that's my line. And who's going first?
Let's kick it off with Dr. Russell. Or Russ. No, he said it. Russ. My apologies. Russ.
Yeah, that works too.
Russ, honor, privilege to have you here. And you know what? I was going to go with this as a part of fun fact also. I had the privilege of speaking at the American Association of Neurosurgeons coming up in 2 weeks with what I perceive to be a non-military American hero whose teammates and he are up for a congressional gold medal. And that's Mike Eruzione of the Miracle on Ice. And I was on the phone with Mike for about 45 minutes earlier today. So this is a very American day, Bella Rita. Yes. So Russ, Bella, as we explore the superpower of influence, whether it's Herb Brooks convincing the Miracle players to go out and do something different, or it's us collecting revenues from insurance companies that are owed to out-of-network surgeons, or it's military recruiters or leaders causing people to step forward for their country and put their lives on the line. Everything happens after yes in our leadership, management, marketing, selling, recruitment, fundraising, for profit, not for profit. So what the show is all about is bringing extraordinary humans like you, Russ, and everybody else here together and exploring what it looks like when sophisticated, heart-centered, masterful people should be causing yes together. Not easy to do since we're bombarded with craziness in the world and all kinds of people seeking our yeses. So Russ, to illustrate this, Bella's going to be anybody that you would choose her to be. She could be an ideal client. She could be a charitable fundraising partner. She could be an ideal patient. She could be also to make famous like Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, anyone, Russ, that you'd want to cause a yes with. But we're not talking pitching, hooking, closing. Yuck. Who wants that? But what does it look like when heart-centered, substantive yeses are achieved in integrity? And that yes could just be a yes for a longer conversation. It doesn't have to be a final yes. So Russ, please, who would you like Bella to be that you're going from hello to yes with?
Well, what matters right now in our stage of the nonprofit is institutional funding. So Bella could be someone who controls those purse strings. They don't have to be the director of a foundation, but the one who can get the ball rolling to get us what we need.
Yeah. So Russ, what I'm hearing is Bella's got some cash burning those pockets in big amounts, and you want to have a conversation. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah, well, in broad strokes. And it is something I don't like touching because my role is to heal people. I don't like going into that world of business that is. I'm a very good tank commander. I'm a very good neuroscientist. I'm a terrible businessman because it's just not what I'm built for. But I understand that if we're going to make this thing work, that's the world that we have to exist in.
Yeah. And Russ, just for fun energy, were you born an outstanding tank commander? And were you born an outstanding surgeon? Were you coming out of the womb that way?
You know, that is debate whether you were touched by General Abrams, and destined to command the Iron Beast. But I think I owe that a lot to my mom. I'm the product of a woman's courage because she needed help at a period when we didn't have any money. And there was a good doctor in Rohnert Park, California, who treated her pro bono. So that's kind of an homage of what we're doing. That's why we're named what we're named. The first word is compassion because there was a good doctor who did his job. And because he did, I'm here.
That's awesome, brother. And what I'm here to say is all of us can become incredibly effective in Integra's business, just like we can become incredibly effective surgeons and tank commanders if our heart is in it like yours, brother. And so thank you for what you do. Bella Verita, you control some influence and resources. Take us in.
I do have control of some resources because I got infinite access to Sean's wallet. So whatever you need, Russ, I'm here. But let's see what we can do. Hello, this is Bella.
Hey, Bella, I'm Russ. I'm the Executive Director of Compassion Neuroscience. We're a nonprofit that treats Gold Star family members for free. We're providing transcranial magnetic stimulation, which you probably never heard of. It's a FDA device that was approved in relatively recent terms. It's got a 70% efficacy rate in treating depression, PTSD, anxiety, and OCD. And we need to get that technology in the hands of the families who need it most. As you know, the VA takes care of the spouse and the kids. There's no provision for parents, no provision for siblings. And we have 5,000 Gold Star families in this country, and someone needs to step in that gap. And I'm hoping you can be that person.
Wow, and what did you say this technology was?
Transcranial magnetic stimulation. So transcranial through the skull, magnet, not electrical, and stimulation by enabling to turn on and off patches of cortex about the size of a nickel. So it's a light switch for the brain. We can effectively take advantage of the brain's plasticity and rewire circuits that have been forced into a state of depression and bring that person back out.
That is extraordinary. I'm in complete awe. And so what is it that, are you looking for a certain amount of money? What is it that you're looking for exactly?
For us to get the second chair in this clinic is going to cost $140,000 to get the TMS device itself, the neuronavigation, and the EEG. That's what really sets us apart from any of these for-profit TMS clinics, because they don't have the technologies we do, nor do they have the time to implement them. Because if you're a for-profit clinic taking insurance reimbursement, you've got to move patients through that chair as fast as possible. The average Medicare reimbursement is $250. It takes about 15 minutes per session. So if you have all those, if you have a line out the door, you have $1,000 an hour chair. And if I come along and say, hey, doc, I can really improve your patient outcomes by using EEG and doing this brain mapping, it's going to add 5 minutes before and add 5 minutes after. Well, now it's a $500 an hour chair. And that's the reason it will never be adopted on the outside, and the reason that we're intentionally structured as a nonprofit. So we only answer to medicine, only answer to what's best for the patient, and never to stockholders.
Gotcha. That sounds extraordinary. And so all you need is 140,000?
That is what I need to continue mission.
That's easy enough. 140,000, drop in the bank. Let's make it happen for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's tax deductible, by the way, for a 501c3.
Sean, I'm going to be by the office in just a minute for a $140,000 check. Just sign your name. That's all you got to do.
Bella Verita, awesome work, my friend. And Russ, thank you as well. And Bella, who's following up Russ, and truly awe-inspiring, Russ. Wonderful job, Bella.
Next up is Teo. Hopefully he doesn't have a foundation we need to donate to, or you might run out of money for the day. But let's go, Teo. And who would you like for me to be?
Yeah, I'm thinking about creating a foundation to feed my kids.
He's got 7 children, Sean, living in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Wow.
I cry every time I leave Costco a little bit.
So Teo, who's Bella going to be? And congratulations on that beautiful family. So please.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations on everything that you guys have done. I was thinking about what I would want this to look like, and I guess, Bella, I want you to be you. And
Bella, you. Oh, and
yeah, and I had been on this Heart of Influence 3 years ago before a couple of things happened in my family's life. My mom passed away. I had a heart attack too. We had the fires here on Maui. There was a lot of things that happened in the interim. And after being on the Heart of Influence, you weren't there, Sean, and I never had a chance to meet you. I didn't even know you were blind until Brett shared. So I just love everything that you guys have done. In the weeks and months after being on the Heart of Influence, I did my best to be a part of the follow-up sessions and everything. And I'm 6 hours behind New York. And short of, me uprooting the family and moving to New Jersey so that I can be more involved in what you guys are doing, because I believe it's just such a phenomenal thing. And I'm a huge believer in connection and high tide lifting all boats. I would love to be able to figure out a way to create an idea that we could serve more people by being in more different time zones.
Cool.
So I guess
So
in
how
a
about
roundabout
this?
way,
So-
that's asking Bella to be that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the ultimate. If you're willing to move your family from Hawaii to New Jersey, that says a lot.
Well, Bella, you're you, and Teo, take us in.
All right. Hello, this is Bella.
Hi, Bella. I heard about what you guys are doing in New Jersey, and I think it's really incredible. It's amazing. It's touching so many different people's lives and their families and their nonprofits. What caused you to want to do this?
Me personally, I have been in the business and personal development space for about 2.5 decades and been in and out of a lot of different, teachings and programs and things like that. And I kept seeing all these companies that would like come on the scene and then to be gone a couple of years later, and people who built businesses in coaching, but had never actually built 7, 8, 9-figure companies. And when I actually came on the scene, I actually thought I was going to teach Sean a thing or two, but I quickly realized that there was something different about this formula and the impact that it has on the world. And it's been my longest relationship so far. I've been here for 4.5 years.
That's incredible. And I've heard just amazing things about it, and I've gotten to see a glimpse of it. What is the vision for the next 3 years, 5 years?
Yeah, I would say, the biggest vision is right now is our founder, Sean. His whole mission is to be sitting in the back row of an 80,000 person stadium, no one knowing his identity, but that this work has been proliferated so much, and there's so many actualizers out in the world that he doesn't even need to take the stage anymore, because we do believe that the formula is changing lives.
Very cool. So knowing that this is a global endeavor and mission, I happen to be out here in Maui, and there's so many families that can be touched here, as well as on the East Coast. I had wanted to be a part of what you're doing on the East Coast, and short of me getting divorced from my wife and moving, it's just been very difficult waking up at 3 a.m. to be on some of these calls. I would love to figure out a way, if there was a way that we could create something on the West Coast, something, and I would love to be involved in that, whatever that might look like, because I believe that everybody needs to see this type of work and the impact that it can make. And it's not about somebody, it doesn't have to be a zero-sum game. It can be something where everybody wins. So I would love to see if we could create that. And I don't know what that would look like.
This is what I could do, Teo, is, I personally am willing to move to Maui, Hawaii, for you and your family, and we will open an unblinded office there. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing. I mean, really cool.
Perfect. Sean, moving to Hawaii.
First up, love everything Teo was sharing, and really deeply moved, brother. So let's go. Lots to talk about. Thank you, Teo. Beautiful work. Russ, beautiful and masterful work as well. Bella, let's get the feedbackers. We're behind. Come on now. What are you lollygagging for? Just kidding. Let's go.
Yes. This is judges. This is a time in the show that we get to give back in the form of feedback. So it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Russ or Teo, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve, and then a scoring system. And that scoring system is like, what is the next step? Is the next step you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have a longer conversation with Russ or Teo? I don't think anybody's wanting a root canal today. Maybe a little mocha chocolate latte at Starbucks for a little bit longer of a meeting. If that's not enough time, how about a private room at the Capitol Grill, having a seafood tower and a nice juicy steak? Unless you happen to be a vegan, maybe you're having salad and french fries, but you're not going to skip out on dessert because you do want to have the longest meeting possible with Teo or Russ. But if that's not enough time, then maybe you're willing to maybe rent a jet from our government, like a fighter pilot, and fly anywhere in the world with Teo and Russ to have the longest meeting possible. So let's kick it off with Zach. And Zach, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Russ, please?
Yeah, Russ, I thought you did fantastic because you obviously knew your audience, being very knowledgeable in the space. So if you had approached me on the street with that information and just fire hose information, it wouldn't have worked, but it worked because of the space that you were in talking to the person. And I just thought that you were straight to the point. You weren't, you come across very genuine, very authentic, and the heart behind what you're doing comes across very clearly. And so when I see you sharing and coming with a very direct need, 140,000, I thought it was a great process. Yeah.
Oh, awesome job, brother. Thank you for that feedback. And would a follow-up step be like a cup of coffee, a meal, something longer, like just quick ABC? What's the follow-up?
I would love it. My wife's from Dallas. We're in Dallas all the time. I love the work that you're doing. I have two brothers-in-law that went to West Point military, and so if I'm ever in Dallas, I definitely will give you a call. Stop by your space and learn more about it. Obviously, you went about 4 PhDs above my head with some of that stuff, but had a blast. So I would love to connect further. Yeah.
If you're able to come by the clinic, I can demo the technology, or I can move your hand against your will. It's a very interesting experience.
Wait, Russ. No. Read it. Sign in Dallas to grab that.
Oh, you're cutting out, Sean.
Now.
We have no idea what you're saying.
Oh, I said Bella. I said you're gonna go grab that technology.
Dig at me. What is it?
Yes. Go ahead. Go.
Yes.
I said you're gonna grab that technology and make me do stuff.
Yeah, it's scary.
But actually, with it, you can also do what's called a Broca's aphasia, and I can remove someone's ability to speak in a very transient basis. And every time I do that, the wives always ask me if I can do it to their husband and make it permanent.
Sean Callagy, don't you get any ideas? Don't you get any ideas? We gotta stop the show. We gotta move on. Sorry, Ross, Zach, you guys are out of time. Next up, we got Dr. Matthew. Dr. Matthew, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Teo?
Russ, I thought you did a great job. I would tone down a little bit of the high-end neuroscience, though, for the layperson, and give them more of the profound human changes you're making, maybe an anecdotal for the people. The other thing is, what's the ROI to the people you're going to? You want an ongoing source of funding, not just a one-time. So you want this to be the first in an ongoing relationship where you can keep coming back to those folks to ask for your further and continuing growth, because obviously the mission is stellar.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Appreciate that. I can feel your presence, groundedness, and heart. Bella Rita.
Let's go. Felipe, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Teo, please?
Yeah, for sure. Teo, great job. You can tell that it's genuine, which always goes such a long way, right? You're interested in Unblinded and how much you care about how you've been a part of it before. The suggestion I have would be just to propose, a little more concrete terms into like how that could happen, whether moving an office in California, opening one in Hawaii, a little more specifics on how that could make it happen. That would be my feedback. But great job.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that. Bella, am I in or out? Cutting in and out?
You're in right now. You are going in and out, but you're in right now.
All right, awesome. And just tell me if I am, because I'll switch to a different device, John. I'll just make sure our hotspot is hot. Thank you for that, Bella Rita. And where are we going?
Next, we got Dave. Dave, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Teo, please?
First, I thought it was so authentic, like there's no BS. You just asked, right? And it was a clear ask. You believe in what this organization is doing, and you'd like to share it with folks in a different time zone, right? It was, I loved how you like connected, right? The dots between the parties, when you issued your ask, with stakeholders. It's great.
Well, thank you for that, Dave. Appreciate you, brother, for sure. And Bella Verita, please, over to you.
That takes us to Mr. Nathan Hansen. How about your 30 seconds of feedback for Russ, please?
Russ, I was so impressed by your certainty and the heart that you combined in the earnest belief. Like your belief came through, and I think that's why you got the yes. Optimization would be to maybe just ask some questions first, understand a little bit more about what the foundation stands for, what they're looking to support, and then when you answer your question, which you so beautifully did, you speak exactly into what they're trying to do, how you could align your missions and touch what's on her heart. You did it without doing that, which I would say, 9.0 anyway, but that was my only room for improvement. And I would definitely Capital Grille, maybe even jet charter, like to get closer to you and what you're doing. And I want to give you the call sign of Magneto, because I feel like that superpower is going to be very useful for you going forward.
That's you, Nathan. That's you, Nathan. Let's go, Bella Verita.
Let's go. Last but not least, Mr. Brett Hadley, your 30 seconds of feedback for Teo, please.
Teo, you and I've had long conversations about this, brother, and you are a GHIC, is what we like to call it here in Unblinded. Growth-minded, heart-centered, integrous, and committed to mastery. And you already are doing that. And I'm seeing your mastery already of what you're doing and asking those questions that you did ask and allowing her to speak into what it is that is needed before you answered. I saw that, but the only feedback that I could give you in Fun Energy is just that you would be able to have that call to action and be able to show it to her. And after you've asked those questions, now you knew what it was and be able to do it and dial it in, that call to action. That was the only feedback that I had for you.
Thank you, Brett. Appreciate that. And really wonderful job again, Russ and Teo. Bella, we are definitely short on minutes, so if we can keep the scenarios tight as Bella Verita now switches the dynamic and puts me in the hot seat. Bella, over to you.
Yes, Nathan, Brett, as you guys both know, this is the time that I get for my co-host on the hot seat in a scenario that he has no idea about because, Teo, Russ, maybe you guys knew what you're doing, maybe you didn't, but I have 3 scenarios, Nathan, Brett, that you guys can choose from.
Let's keep it to 2. Let's make it 2.
Okay.
I just don't want to lose people, Belle. Right?
Yeah. So I have 2 scenarios that you guys can choose from. You can change anything or you can come up with something much harder on your own. So I'll go with option number 1 is Sean could role play Russ going from hello to yes with Mark Cuban for a $140,000 donation for one, but to continue the conversation, open for more donation later, and also mentoring him. So that is option number 1. And then option number 2 is Sean could role play Teo going from hello to yes with Sean to come to Maui for 3 months to train him on how to lead and open a unblinded office in Maui and duplicate himself in Maui. So those are the 2 options I got for you today, Brett and Nathan. Either one of those tickle your fancy?
Definitely number 1.
I'm going to go just because it's such an easy yes to get Sean to say yes to go live in Maui for 3 months. I mean, it seems like that's
it's a no-brainer.
And who's playing Mark Cuban?
I think Dr. Matthew Cooper. Be skeptical. Don't be a pushover. Give some resistance. Be Mark Cuban. Be the shark in the Shark Tank. And, give Sean a run for his money. Let's go.
All right, take us in.
Hello, is Mr. Cuban available?
I'm right here, Sean.
Yeah. Well, this is actually Russ. We had a 3-minute conversation. Mr.
Okay.
Cuban, is it still a good time for you?
Yes, it works fine.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I know you know who you are. I just want you to know that I know who you are and how precious your time is. And I'm really honored for this. And if I could ask you, Mr. Cuban, in the 2 minutes and 45 seconds that we have left, What was the why behind this? So many people approach you, I'm sure, in charitable causes, but what's the why that allowed me the privilege of this time with you, sir?
Well, you got my interest because I didn't know much about TMS, but is this magic? Is it hooey? Or does it really work for people?
Thank you for that. And I'm presuming, I've read your books, I've heard many of your talks, Mr. Cuban, stand for people and bringing truth to the world. Am I hearing that correctly? Is there anything else in this as to why you want to know if this is a bunch of hooey or something real?
Well, because the people are deserving. The war fighters, the veterans, their families, they're an underserved group. And we need to take care of the people who are preserving and giving us freedom. And so if other institutions can't, then we need to. And so I can help in that regard, but you've got to convince me that we can do it through this mechanism. They're a worthwhile group, but why should I empower you to do it?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Cuban. And I hear it, the truth. Thank you for seeing the truth of how underserved our heroes and veterans are. So from that place, can I share a couple quick things that may or may not resonate with you?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So, Mr. Cuban, you're a bottom line man. I love you on the Shark Tank, and I love what you've done with the Mavericks and all the magic you brought. So I'm going to put somebody else's money where my mouth is. So one of the colleagues I have is retired Lieutenant Colonel Nathan Hansen, a dear colleague of his, retired veteran, amazing human, Brett Hadley as well. They have this man, Sean Callaghan, who I think you've had some intersections with in the personal development and human acceleration space. What Sean Callaghan is willing to do is if you'll grant me a 30-minute conversation to allow me to do a demonstration and bring you our data, a demo and a data that we'll set up in video with a person of your choosing. If this isn't passing the Mark Cuban BS hooey test, Sean Callaghan will donate $1 million to your favorite charity. However, if it does pass the test, then we get to build something extraordinary with you, Mr. Cuban. So your worst downside is you spend about 30 minutes of your time and get $1 million for your charity, or better, you have a solution that's going to revolutionize the way that veterans deal with post-traumatic stress, and perhaps the entire nation recreates its relationship with what is known otherwise as depression. So, Mr. Cuban, I know you're a busy man, bottom lining it, but this could literally change the face of mental health in the world, which would change the face of the world. So what say you, sir? Worst downside is $1 million for your charity. Money goes in your lawyer's escrow account. And how would it resonate with you or not? To have that 30-minute follow-up so we can bring the truth forward and go change the world together.
Well, look, Dr. Toll, if I may call you that, a wise man looks around, is open to opportunity, is also open at this stage in my career to helping people. So I like to think I'm a wise man, despite what I did with the Mavericks and the Lakers. And so, yes, you've got that 30 minutes, and I look forward to learning from you. And if it works, if you convince me, we're going to build something really great for the people who really need it.
Cuban, I thank you. Appreciate that. And I'll set that up with your assistant, Tom, as we set up this meeting. Is that appropriate?
Yes. Look
Thank you,
forward to
sir.
it.
Have a blessed day. And this is going to be real. Thank you.
You as well.
Out of roll, coming back to Dr. Matt in a second. Russ, thank you for everything you do in the world. My heart was deeply touched. Wonderful. Wonderful is not even the right word. Masterful, what you're up to. And thank you. How'd I do as you, Russ, and how was your time on Nathan and Brett's Heart of Influence?
Oh, that was great. I liked how you're doing the foothold security. Instead of trying to get the objective in one strike, use the 3 minutes to buy 30, get an increased order of magnitude. And that's, if you give me 30 minutes to do data and a demo, I've got you.
Go, brother. And listen, for real, Russ, the one thing from my heart, you're not asking for any feedback from me. Here's my feedback for you. Please, you have so much, it seems, to offer to the world. Do not fall into the trap that I was in at 27 years old, when I did not want to go blind and be broke, when I thought business wasn't who I was, because I was an athlete that wanted to play professional baseball. I couldn't think about business. I thought it was dirty, ugly, and gross. I was wrong. I mean, it can be dirty, ugly, and gross, so can anything, but it can also be the way in a capitalist structure to make all the change in the world. And your heart and integrity are clear, and it's simply an identity shift. And the stuff that you can do to impact the world is clearly present. And Russ, thank you so much for bringing it here today to the Heart of Influence. Thank you, brother.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you. Teo, thank you. Really appreciate the acknowledgement, your heart being present. Wonderful job. The participants see it again. Your heart was clear. Teo, how was your time today on the Heart of Influence, brother?
It was awesome. I mean, just great to see everybody and actually meet you for the first time was really cool. And it's just incredible the people that get assembled in these sessions.
And I'm going to tell you this. I was born with nothing. I was at this wake right before this. My mother pushed a hot dog cart in Jersey City with the man in the casket's wife. The two of them, kind of like Lucy and Ethel, thought they're going to find a way to deal with their husbands and have some money and do something, as they were living in tiny little apartments in Jersey City. And I'm a baby, and they're pushing a hot dog cart. And somehow today I'm on the phone with Mike Eruzione, speaking in front of neurosurgeons and all this stuff. I was born defective. I wasn't even born ordinary. And if I could do this, like, what can we all do? So thank you, Teo, for that, for sure. Dave, appreciate you being that feedbacker seat. Really felt it, present, grateful. And Dave, how was your time today on Brett and Nathan's Heart of Influence?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great, there were a lot of good learning moments, right, for I think everyone involved.
Cool. And
And all we
definitely
can do is just grow every day, right?
yeah, and hope you all can connect and make things happen, because everything we need is one ecosystem partnership away. It was life altering for me at 10 different times, finding that one new relationship that did it. So thank you, Dave, and hopefully you'll find that here today as well. So thank you. Belle of Rita, please.
Yes, let's keep it going around. And Zach, thank you for kicking us off into the judges' seats. And how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
Well, I'm sure, Sean, as you know, being an attorney, you just get caught up in kind of the law space. You just talk to lawyers all day. And it's really refreshing to talk to people in different fields that have so much to give, different causes and different things that you advocate and fight for in your own way. And those are the things that energize me, because it can, the mundane things in the day can get you down. And so it's just good to hear and listen to what you guys have to say. So a great time.
Awesome, Zach. Thank you so much for that, for sure. Feel the heart. Belle of Rita.
Let's go to the man, Sean, who has 45 parrots. Yes, 45 parrots. That would be Dr. Matthew. Dr. Matthew, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
Well, it's always refreshing when something gives you pause to ponder and think, and this certainly did. And also stimulated interest to continue some of these conversations. So overall, really very good.
Yeah, and thank you, Dr. Matthew, for stepping in to that space as Mark Cuban. And I could feel your wisdom present, and it is inspiring for us to give pause to brilliant people like yourself, a moment to think about some possibilities. So thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. Belle of Rita.
And last but not least, probably won't make the front page of the New York Times from this show, but hopefully you had a great time. And Felipe, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
It was amazing. Thank you everyone for sharing. I learned a lot, just taking a step back and hearing about the work that Dr. Ross is doing. It's amazing to know that, there's so much potential for people to live better lives. So that was very moving. It hit home. And it's some of the work that Zach is doing outside of his day-to-day. It's really cool to hear that people, it gives you hope with some of the stuff that's going on, which is amazing. So very moved. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate your presence and time here today. And let us go to Brett and Nathan thank you for assembling these folks. Appreciation for all that you do in the world as growth-driven, heart-centered, integrous men committed to mastery and for what you've done for our country. And Brett, please, your final.
Final, just it's this right here that are the surrounding people that are in this room right here, and a multitude of magnitude that's unbelievable that we get to do this every single day in our unblinded ecosystem, just surrounded by amazing people doing amazing stuff that are examples of possibility for folks who are struggling, people who are hurt, and people who need help. And it's unbelievable, like Teo said, that the tides are all rising and everyone's helping each other, no matter if it's personal, professional, or spiritual.
Amen, brother. Thank you for that, Brett. And Nathan, you are a cause in the matter of this today, sir. Please, your final, Nathan.
I'm just always so amazed by you gentlemen, in this case, that come on here, your mastery. I'm just blown away today by everyone and your communication. You were all heroes. Battling Al Qaeda in your underwear. Dr. Cooper, xenotransplantation, going into space. Is there going to be alien life forms participating in this at some day? I mean, all of the things. It was just amazing. I'm so grateful that that you said yes, and I'm grateful that we got to spend more time together. And I look forward to the next conversations to talk about, can we do more of this together? I would love to talk about what that looks like with every single one of you, and continue this relationship, because you're all incredible heroes of what you're doing. And that's why you're here.
Yeah.
We recognize it. We're calling all heroes. And that's what Avengers Assemble. That's what it's all about here.
Let's go Avengers. What Nathan and Brett have to say, definitely listen to these dudes. Integrity impeccable. Skepticism high. And clarity of what this is and where we are, 10 on 10. So thank you for that, Nathan. It is an honor, sir. For everyone, I know we're late. Thank you for your time and patience. We have our group influence book. That is a textbook on the power of integrous influence. It wasn't in existence. If it was, I wouldn't have written it to have a retread of information. It is the book on group influence, leadership, management, and certainly at the highest levels of public speaking. And also have a follow-up session with the team, with Nathan Brett, because there is a mechanism and formula for us to do the things that we want to do. And I put that together 27 years ago with the deepest things on the line, like blindness and brokenness. And if I could do this, you can, and beyond. Belvrita, your final, please. And as always, Bella, outstanding.
Yeah, no, just I echo everything that you said. There's definitely more to do with each other and together. So definitely check out those. And back to you, Sean.
Yeah, and Bella, true or not, that there was a meaningful distance and separation between your dad for a long time, and your dad went through a lot of challenging things. But since this work, what's been the difference in, because we talk business a lot, what's the difference in your relationship with your heroic dad?
Yes, thank you for that. So my dad and I didn't actually speak for 5 years. It was very challenging. But I moved out when I was still 17 in high school, moved out on my own because we just couldn't even get along under the same roof. Our relationship was always challenged. We went, years without speaking. And because of this work and Sean and learning how to understand my father, because he did have some disabilities. He's been through a lot, and I didn't understand. And I will just share, like, it all changed when my dad has only ever really been sober 6 months of my entire life. He's always had some sort of drugs or alcohol on a daily basis, and in that time period, my dad had shared with me that he worked on the ship, and specifically the elevator that brought back all the dead and wounded. And that really was able to shape my understanding of how he couldn't communicate And through this formula, I learned to communicate and also cause him to share stuff. He, on a car ride with me just yesterday, shared more about, his experience in the war and, elevating, telling even stories that I had never heard, because I learned how to ask questions and I learned how to level 5 listen is one of the things that we talked about in causing him to open up. And now we have a phenomenal relationship, and he calls me like every other day to talk about something, and he doesn't have that much to talk about because he's fully retired and disability. But he always calls me like every other day now and has something he wants to talk about or wants to share or whatnot. And it is absolutely, I am so blessed to have such an incredible relationship with him now.
He's a great man, as you all are, and your dad is squarely like the topic of Born in the USA. So it's beautiful and always an honor to spend time with him at the deepest level. So thank you, Bella. Everyone, you can end here or not. That's up to you. We all have the power of choice, and hopefully we choose in and choose wisely. And we end every show by saying this. First, thank you, Brett. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And particularly, thank you for what you do and have done for our great nation. And I end every show by also saying this. I may be physically blind, which I am, but I'm absolutely certain as to the possibilities for acceleration. Those possibilities sit right in front of all of us. But so often, Bella Rita, sighted or not, we are all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Nathan.